Before we start, a quick note. This podcast is not a substitute for professional mental health care. If you need support, consider reaching out to a licensed professional. This podcast can include strong language and difficult topics. Pause if you need to. Let's get into it. I'm so pleased to welcome Shane Alcock today. He describes himself as a curious human being, interested in the world, and hopeful for the caring, compassionate side of humanity to blossom and flourish. Shane's perspective is rooted in a belief that connection and empathy can guide how we live and grow together. Shane, I'm eager to talk about the influences that have shaped your path and what they reveal about who you are today. Welcome to I Feel Like I Should.
Thank you for having me. It's a nice intro.
Well, it was easy, so I appreciate it. Let's do the icebreaker. I just started doing this and it's a lot of fun. What is a guilty pleasure song that you have that you might be afraid to admit to other people?
I don't know if it's that I wouldn't admit it to somebody, but I do enjoy It's Raining Men a lot. That song always gets me sort of, I don't know, what's the word? And my father-in-law, that's like maybe his favorite song as well. So I kind of laugh at that too, because he always gets up and gets going when no one's going. So I'd say that, or there's a Nelly Furtado song, Try. That's like super slow and sad. And I remember when I was growing up, that one like could always put me in a somber sort of thoughtful and sad, and I could cry easy to that one.
Could you still cry easy to that one?
That song still gets me, yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
I love that. I love that you have like two sides of the coin. Like It's Raining Men, which is just like blasting high energy, right?
Yeah.
And just being like very vocal and very expressive. And then you have the other side, which is just like, if I want to like come down.
Totally. I feel like I definitely connect more with the sort of thoughtful, sadder things in music, I think. And then in terms of if I'm alone and sitting, but then I think obviously the high energy, especially dance music and EDM and stuff, I kind of live in that world a lot too.
Yeah. What about that world, that like the high energy EDM?
I feel like it's removed from what you can find in the natural world. I feel like I put on a song that really gets me in terms of any kind of EDM song that I really love, and I can get goosebumps quickly. I can go to another place a lot, like fast, if that makes sense. When I'm just experiencing the world itself, there's nothing really that can do that. In terms of the goosebumps concept, it's like if I see human kindness, like especially like a father interacting with a son, that'll give me a lot of energy, emotion, and goosebumps. And similar if like a really intense, good dance track will give me a similar emotion.
You know, you grew up in South Africa, and like in that environment, in that time, were there other like groups that like your peers were listening to, or was like the thing to like get into at school?
I feel like the biggest sort of following that we had was like 90s hip hop. I feel like hip hop came to South Africa and really took a lot of us, you know. The first tapes that I ever got was a Nirvana tape and Smashing Pumpkins or Presidents of the United States. I can't remember. But those two tapes were like the first that I just played over and over again.
Yeah.
And then finally, the first CD that I ever got was Eminem's first record. That was like because of MTV. South Africa's history of TV is also interesting. Like I feel like we only got TV in the 50s or something, and it was very much propaganda and ruled and run by the government. It was very controlled during the apartheid for sure. So when I was like 14, I guess, we got cable TV, we got satellite TV, and then it was just like MTV all day.
Hip hop kind of like sounds like comes in like a hurricane. What was the should or feeling like I gotta listen to this? What was it that like struck a chord with you?
I mean, so I grew up with a lot of music playing in the house. Like my parents, were were decent entertainers and enjoyed a good party. So there was some nights, music would go late, very late. And I grew up with a lot of like traditional-ish sort of, I guess anything that you would listen to from like the 80s and so on, the 70s. And I think when I started to hear hip hop and like understand it more, it was the flip side. It was like rapping just felt unique and different. And I was attracted to that, I think. Not to like um differ from my parents. I think it was just a new sound.
Yeah. What was your parents' reaction to that?
They were all my parents were really supportive. I mean, yeah, they were interested and also didn't quite understand it, but enjoyed it and like they would always let me play it for them.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And I mean at the same time then we had like a drum and bass was huge as well in South Africa. More so than like listen to a bit of house, but like drum and bass was kind of our in our friendship group. That's what we really went for. So they also love drum and bass, which is kind of crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah. But I guess it's just like it's through familiarity. If you just play it enough or enjoy it and they see you having fun with it, then,
Yeah.
now if I see my kids enjoying a song, like I'm listening to Pink Pony Club, like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not exactly my tune, but I love it. Like I
Yeah.
dance with my kids because, I mean, it is a fun track.
Yeah. Yeah. Were there other, like, sort of moving through that a little bit in home life, were there other, like, shoulds or expectations I could even suggest, like, in that terminology? Were there other shoulds or expectations you were feeling from your family into which or your friends group to which you felt like you had to head in a certain direction in life?
You mean like pressures of just
Yeah.
family?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the background really is my dad's, a fisherman by trade and an owner of fishing companies and so on. So my whole life growing up, I think I was expected to take over that business. And it just, yeah, I think that pressure definitely pushed me far away from it. So everybody thought I should have, you know, run in the family line. And yeah, I mean, films kind of becoming a filmmaker is definitely the opposite of, well, not the opposite, but it's very far away from being a fisherman and being out in the water. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think there was that expectation for sure.
Were there conversations around that?
Totally. I mean, there was grooming and conversations, and I was going out on the boat at a very young age for like a week or 2 weeks at a time. You like don't see land, you're out there. So I think there was some expectation, and it wasn't like here's the path, here's the through line, here's how you get it. But yeah, I think there was an unspoken sort of agreement potentially,
Yeah.
or thought at least.
Were there other things that you wish you went after or had the opportunity or maybe even felt like you had the space to explore?
In terms of like a different field.
Yeah. Like growing up in that time period, you're being sort of placed in this world, right? Your dad's like, this is the thing, and here's how we do this, and this is how we do this, and really showing you the process. And it sounds like with the expectation, or at least a minimal understanding of like, you're next.
Yeah, I mean I think I could express myself through sport mainly. Like I was also decent enough that I thought I could really go for it. So I really focused on that
Hmm.
as a bit of a differentiator and like as I mean, with the industry that my dad was in, he wasn't necessarily available all the time. He was like, the work really took him away. So a lot of that was by myself too, in terms of that. My mom would be somewhat supportive, not because she didn't want to. I think she was just always worried about me playing, whether it was rugby or something else. Like she was just a little worried about my safety. So
Hmm.
really able to watch that much.
Yeah.
But I think that was an avenue I was interested in and really pushed for. I mean, I could also socially, it allowed me to have some sort of power.
Yeah.
Being good at sport, I kind of pushed at that, I guess.
And in that time period, I'm really fascinated. So like for me, I don't think that like my dad did so many different types of sales, but he never really expected me to be a salesman.
Mm.
But I will think that, like, from conversations I remember, there were other expectations of, like, you will get a job and then you will stay in this job and this is the thing that you will do,
Mm.
which I don't necessarily think is maybe uniquely American, but it is in some other ways where, like, I'm not born into a business.
Mm.
Like, I think it might have been different if he, like, owned something. It's like, well, you're next.
Mhm.
And yet, I don't know why I railed against that in a way. And it sounds like in your own way, you tried to do that, right? Like, you didn't do that. So, can you recall how you found your way through that? Like, how did you navigate out of that situation?
It's hard to put a finger on it, really. I think it's just the nature of my dad and my relationship. Like, we didn't discuss it necessarily, but I think he could sense it in terms of I was showing some interest, and I've definitely learned good work ethic from my dad. Like, that was
Yeah,
one thing, you know.
same.
So in terms of shoulds, it like we should have spoken about it. I mean, but that's just not like, now is a not the dawn of a new age, but I feel like men definitely are more susceptible to speaking and having the emotions like out on the table, and just my dad didn't. So he was probably thinking all the time, like, how do I connect with this kid and make him want to take the business,
Yeah.
or how do we connect on this other level? And just never really voiced it.
Well, I didn't have the tools, I think.
I think, yeah, most of that generation weren't given the tools or showed how to express.
Yeah.
And then later in life, we did try sort of a couple business ventures together that did involve the ocean and so on. So it kind of panned out that way. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like I hope those couple of years that we were working together like that, trying to get some stuff off the ground, I hope that he felt or got some gratification of that, like the one for me to be involved.
I mean, you as a parent, right? You've shared that. Do you, if putting yourself in your dad's shoes, as it were, as best you can, and with your kids, do you feel like you would value that or appreciate that?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I I believe he definitely got something from it,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
But again, we haven't spoken about it much, we're not that talkative with each other, which is it can be fixed. I mean, but it's just I'm not good on the phone. I like to be in person. It's far away. The time zones are like not always great in terms of finding yourself in a space to want to talk.
Yeah.
So like opposite ends of your day.
Yeah.
Like when Maria and I were apart for a while, my wife, that was hard because she'd wake up in the morning and have whatever the day before's thoughts or the day ahead's thoughts, and like be in that position when you like how you feel in the morning. And yeah, I am at like tapering off my afternoon, kind of getting into more either relaxation or being with friends kind of thing. And it's like we just never really were able to connect
Yeah.
in the same sort of feel, I guess.
Could we call that like Nelly Furtado time, maybe?
Yeah, we can.
But we do come down, obviously. It's hard to kind of go deep, in my opinion, right? Your body's naturally being like, okay, it's time to.
Totally. And I'm very much a morning person. So like I'm firing in the morning, and by the end of the day, I don't want to engage too much in anything but sort of tapering down and, you know, getting to rest.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah. I don't function well in the evening.
Yeah. I'm curious, like, you are a filmmaker, a really great filmmaker, in my opinion. And were there things outside of that where you're like, ah, man, I wish I had done this, or I wish I would have like done not something different, like with regret, I think, but more of like, like I wonder why I didn't explore something else or think about something else, or maybe I did, but didn't give myself enough permission.
Mm. I mean, funny enough, I mean, it's music really. Like I love film. I'll always love film. I love creating in that sense, but I do find music a lot more powerful than visual. I think so. Yeah, there's a bit of regret of like, and I have time obviously, And it's the old thing of like learning to play guitar, you know, like I never really picked up an instrument early and I had so much interest and passion in music. Um, so that would probably be it, really.
Yeah. Can you kind of like place in your body where where do you feel when you play music and what is that feeling like?
Hmm. I mean, I feel like it sort of starts in the gut and moves kind of up. Um, hmm. I don't know. It's interesting. I've never really sat with the music like that. Actually, where it feels in my body. It's more of just, it almost sometimes feels like it's outside my body and
Hmm.
like supporting, like a, not an energy or like a something maybe, yeah.
I mean, who's to say?
Who's to say? I mean, it is all vibrations, right? So there is definitely energy in all of it. So
Yeah.
could
And
be
how
that.
your eardrums create that.
Yep. Yeah. I feel like sometimes you feel held, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And when you're in that space, like, what's that like?
It's like being held by, it feels good. I mean, it's nurturing, it's caring. I never really was like a mosh pit kind of person or getting rage out. And I think like again, like a intense drum and bass song or something that really has something going into the tempo and everything, that can like make me want to move, but not in an aggressive way. It's more of like a enjoyment and expression, getting something out, I guess. But yeah, and then the hold part is just, I think, just feel nurtured in some way.
Yeah. And when you play music for other people, because you've done like shows, right? What is that experience like for you?
I I mean, I live for it. Like I love curating music. I love finding new music. Um, it's funny when you know, like the Napster generation, all that time, like I was all over that. And I felt a sense of pride, like being the person who like found that track. Not like, oh, it's mine or anything like that, but like seeing somebody's enjoyment of a song, right? Once it's almost like you have a little secret and you like haven't they haven't heard it yet and you're like, check this out, you know, and it's like
Yeah.
that then seeing them light up and like that's I mean, it's a gift, right? So
Yeah.
I've always really enjoyed finding and curating playlists and CDs and now DJing as well is obviously that, right? I mean, DJing, especially I feel like house music and sort of down tempo kind of genres, it's totally a journey and a story almost.
Yeah.
So yeah, I still get the same joy out of it.
Yeah.
And like again, that taps the stuff, like leaving those downloads overnight, you know, internet was slow back then. And just that excitement of going to bed, like, and then hoping that they're actually all fully downloaded when
Oh,
you wake
yeah.
up. And it's
Yeah.
like, and then listening to it, you know, double clicking that thing and listening to it was
Yeah.
such a, it's just, you don't have that anymore. But I'm like tired of the Discover Weeklies or self-made lists. So um, it's tiring because you don't have any connection at all.
Well, an algorithm is deciding for you in some
Exactly.
ways.
Yeah. But I didn't inform I did inform the algorithm, but I didn't really, you know?
Yeah.
It's like sometimes I would say of the 20 tracks on a Discover Weekly, three are, you know, I'm like poke my ears up maybe. But I'm just again the process of like, oh, perking my ears, taking out my phone, adding to planners, blah blah. Like I just hate I don't like the mechanics of it.
Yeah.
Like there's no enjoyment. I want
Yeah.
like even if there were haptics, like if the phone vibrated or if there was a sound or movement or something.
Get that dopamine rush.
Yeah, that would be a little bit better, but it's like the double click, right, on of a track that downloaded. I mean, there was so much the anticipation was
Oh,
even
I
better.
mean, absolutely. And then, I mean, I would remember like spending so much time trying to find something
Mhm.
and then downloading it and then it would crash.
Yeah,
You're like, oh, God, gotta do that again.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting, kind of like it felt, at least for me, like very, like an uncharted map
Mm,
where I'm just exploring and seeing
mhm,
what's out there. And like you said, finding things that maybe I never would have found before or
yeah.
had a friend who was like, "Oh, you gotta check this out." And it was very, very exciting to do that.
Yeah, and it was harder to go down the rabbit holes. It wasn't like, again, algorithms pointing you in certain directions. You had to really like either listen to a song and find out information about who they collaborate with, or like why do they like that person. And then it just, you know, I felt like the journey was way more beautiful than it is now in terms of navigating music.
Yeah.
There's obviously, in terms of, you know, what you can read about somebody, what you can see about somebody now, like the artists, there's a lot of rich, like entertaining stuff about, but it doesn't feel like you work for it.
Yeah.
Just all day, there's so much.
Yeah. We had spoken earlier when I sent you some questions, and I thought it was really interesting. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you had said that you wished you had an eco lodge.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, yeah. So that was kind of the sort of business venture that my dad and I ended up, before moving to the States, we went to a part of South Africa on the East Coast. My dream was to start an eco lodge. I mean, similar to the idea of like curating and playing music for people, I think hosting and making a space for people is kind of more so my passion than anything. You know, like I really get a lot out of entertaining or having a space for people. So the eco lodge idea was right up that sort of alley, and yeah, I spent over 2 years of my life like sort of securing land down there. Eventually, my dad did open and run like a rock lobster, like a lobster factory down there, which is all not like a factory you would think. I mean, people are catching the lobster by hand, diving, four-wheelers, ATVs running out like with cold coolers on the back, chucking them in, riding to the live tanks. Then those live lobster go to China and like all over the world. So and this is rural South Africa. I mean, dirt roads and mud huts around there.
Yeah.
Anyway, the land is beautiful. It was all kind of going on the right path. And then, Maria came, saw the place. I mean, when we drove down the hill the first time, she just burst into tears in terms of how beautiful it was, first impression.
Yeah.
It was that kind of land. And yeah, it just slowly unraveled,
Hmm.
for better, for worse. My life would be totally different. I mean, totally.
Yeah.
So there'll always be that.
A little itch.
Totally. I mean, and it's almost, I feel like with where we were in the process, in terms of leaving the adventure, I think it's almost a blessing because it was so raw still. So it will be this beautiful dream. It's not like
Yeah.
we're back, we were close, but not that close.
Yeah.
So it'll always be like a beautiful memory as opposed to, oh, I wish my life was that.
Yeah. I mean, I find as like a creative person, there's so many areas that I wanted to explore or even tried exploring, and it wasn't for lack of love. It wasn't for lack of anything. It just wasn't
Mm,
the time.
yeah,
But they're always like lost loves.
totally. I mean, I feel like unlocking that like understanding, I think is, a gem in life. If you can recognize that it's not the right time,
Yeah.
saves you a lot of strife.
It does. How have you found ways to listen to that, to know?
I find it tough at the moment because, I mean, we were trying to move back to South Africa last year, and, like 8 out of 10 things were basically done. And it was just the final hurdle was really finding accommodation there. And that just proved to be very tough. So I don't know. It felt like the right time to go to South Africa last year. And I'm sitting here sometimes thinking like, why is it not happening?
Mhm.
And the strangest part about that whole move or that concept, I mean, obviously I haven't been home in 12 years, 13 years in terms of living.
Mhm.
So it just feels like it's been a decent stretch in terms of my kids' age. It's the right time now. So they're not too socially developed on this side.
Yeah.
And I don't know, we weren't running away from a bad situation. Like, we live in a wonderful town,
Yeah.
like great friends, all of that.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the tricky part
Yeah.
because it's like, are we forcing this?
Mm.
Is it the right time? It's very murky. And I'm basically saying, oh, when well, it'll just happen when it happens. And it's like, nah, I gotta be more solid on it, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I guess unlocking, like I said, unlocking that understanding is a trick maybe to a big part of life, maybe.
For me, that's where those shoulds come in. I should be doing this. Why am I not doing this? This should have happened, but it didn't happen.
At what age do you think we start with that language?
That's a really good question.
Because I look at my two boys and like, Miro is 4 and a bit and Bodhi's 7 and a bit. And there's still so much innocence in Miro's life. Like there's no hard truths,
Yeah.
not too many hard truths.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Curious, like when do we start speaking to ourselves that way?
I don't know. Maybe, I mean, I think it's when we are of an age where we start to perhaps care more about like the group influence and less about like what's important to me. So like the fitting in aspect,
Mm-hmm.
which is normal, right? Like as like evolved animals, right? We're, grained to be in the group and be part of the group, and the group is safety at the expense often, I think, of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's when those shoulds for right or wrong. And I also think, there are probably like familiar family shoulds, expectations. And maybe around that time of like 7, 8, 9, we start to really like lock in on those. Cause I could see that with like my own kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't
No, I
know.
think it totally makes sense. Yeah, and it's also like you said, for better for worse, some of the decisions a lot of times regret, right? I should have done this.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
It's not too often that it's the other way around, really.
Yeah. But it can.
It can. I think that's a goal, right? If you can be like wary enough to know that. Stop
Yeah.
yourself when you're making those kinds of choices.
Yeah. And that's a process.
Yeah.
I think there are opportunities that get presented to us, and for whatever reason, we can't see it, can't hear it. It's not the right time. I don't know. We don't act on that, or we
Mhm.
don't listen to it. Or I think like so many times I haven't acted on my own best interests because of I'm afraid to be who I am,
Mm.
or anything. And so the work for me, I think, is to figure out like how do I shorten that distance,
Mhm.
and how do I learn to like listen to what's like, what is it that I'm feeling? What is it that I'm trying to communicate? Or what is it that I'm trying to do? And explore that internally. Like, where's that coming from?
Mhm.
And if I can like decrease that time, maybe I have like, I'm not going to say no more regrets because I'll definitely regret things.
Sure. There'll be more informed regret.
It will be way more formed in regret. I know what I did and I know why it
Yeah,
happened.
exactly. Which is all we can ask for, I guess. I mean, when do we start like teaching this to our kids, right? I mean, do they just see us do it, or is it a verbal lesson?
I think it's an action. How can I say it's important to help people if I'm not helping people,
Hmm. Yeah.
right? Or how can I say you should be kind if I'm not kind to my kids?
Hmm.
And I think from what I understand, at this age, up until I think 10 or so, they're very open,
Hmm.
right? Yeah, I think you've seen that. I know I've seen that. So, and I think like that plasticity never goes away. It just kind of has to like get worked a little bit harder.
Hmm.
That's what I've experienced. We'll find out.
So we will.
Um, well, I want to appreciate and say thank you so much for this conversation. It's been really great. I'm curious, like as a curator, as a nurturer, as someone who loves to, share music with people. And I would argue that's very nurturing to create environments for other people to explore those sounds and those feelings with themselves. Is there something now that you're listening to you think like, hey, people should listen to that or check it out?
Um, Strangely enough, I think the whole like algorithm part of things makes me not remember song names. But I think the one track I keep coming back to, and I just like I loved it for all the reasons. I think like when I saw the video for it and everything, and just the energy of the track as well as that Places to Be, that Fred again and Anderson .Paak song. Like structurally, it's a great track, and it's got so much energy, and it can get me up at any moment of the day. Yeah, it's a big one. It's a big track.
Well, Shane, thank you so much
Thank you.
for everything. It's been a really great conversation. And
I
I
hope
just want to
so.
say, oh, it's been great. I really, really appreciate you taking the time to be on the show today. You've been listening to I Feel Like I Should. More at ifeellikeishould.com and on Instagram at I Feel Like I Should Pod. I'll see you next time.